All right, welcome. We are here to virtually taste with you as we do every single week here at Old North State Winery. This is Chef Chris. I'm Sam Ebb. We do these in person here downtown Mount Airy. We have 4 wines every single week. We cover 200 wines over the course of a year. We've covered over 1,000 wines. We got a bunch of videos if you want to go back and see some of them. But to see them all, you must be here in person. But for those of you that cannot be, we do a virtual tasting. You come by, pick up your wine, your tasting kit that goes along with it, always has delicious food that we'll talk about here briefly after I blindside chef for these wines.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the blind side.
Yeah, I love to get the honest reaction out of Chef Chris. Obviously he's peeked at the bottle, so his brain's already
thinking,
conjuring things up. But how many times have we done this video and you said, well, I thought
I knew what we were having.
Yeah, and then
It's
because we've tasted, that's the thing here. Even a chef can't pick a wine pairing / food pairing without tasting first. You can't just go by the label. You can't just go by the region. You have to do the tasting because every producer is different. Every vintage is different, and
every expression, even from the same area, is different. There's just so many factors that play into it. You got to put the work in.
That's right. And by work, we mean drink wine.
It's work.
And so that's what we're going to do. Chef, we had another great week last week. We had a chef's table lunch. We had a chef's table dinners. Our Thursday night tasting was great. We had a lot of virtual tasters. It's another great week.
Another great week, and the folks came out on the weekend and really made for a wonderful week. And didn't have the best weather, and that was okay. People found solace inside.
Yeah, and comfort in the glass, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, we're gonna have a little Vino Barbera. This is a sparkling wine. This is called 3-Pop. 3-Pop apparently is a little child's game that's played in this part of Italy. As we call these bubblies frizzante. And oh yeah, listen to that.
That sounds fantastic. That'll get you. If that doesn't get you excited,
yeah. Well, it's hard not to smile when you got bubbles in the glass. Right?
No matter what. That's for sure. Oh, look at that.
All right. So this is a Barbera, which my friend Katie from Etruscan Imports turned us on to. She was so sweet. We met her at Carolyn's house. And did a tasting, like a 2-hour tasting. It was fantastic. And we tasted so many great wines. This is one of the wines that I want to introduce to you, but I got many more coming. And we'll be trying a lot of those beautiful imports. We've had some of their Romanian wines. They have Italian wines and some French wines. So there's lots to choose from. And Georgian wines. There's just such this crazy cool portfolio. Now you're seeing what you are seeing right there. You're seeing that beautiful pink. So yes, this is would fall into a rosé, or as they call it, rosato in Italy, and plenty of bubbles here. And I think you noticed that I did use the different end of my wine tool, not the corkscrew side, but the wine tool opener, the bottle opener.
Yeah, the bottle opener.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It worked out great.
So you pop it like a beer, and you can probably drink it like a beer. Mm-hmm. That carbonation. A little bit more wine ABV style than beer, though. We're looking at 12.5%. So.
Although these days.
No, some of those beers
not
are
unusual to see a 10 or 11% beer nowadays, unfortunately. But.
Well, this has a lot of delicious notes to it. I just want to let you know that there is some beautiful yeast notes, even with the bottle cap. I think a lot of times we think, well, you really got to have that driven cork with long time with the lees to really get those yeasty notes. This is a great example of you can still get those yeasty notes, bright yeasty notes.
They're very bright,
like
fresh bread.
Yeah.
And not a real dark wheat bread, but a fresh bread. Tons of strawberry on this.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? And there's a tartness here that I think is just so perfect for if you are. Now I've already started to see my diet change a little bit because we've now gone up into the the mid 80s, and it's going to we're going to eventually be in the 90s. But I started eating these different styles of food, like where I'm eating charcuterie and cheese and a bottle of wine rather than a big meal.
You just want to snack. You have to stay. You need the fuel, but you don't want the constant spooning.
And you don't want to pass out from eating too much.
No, you want to pass out from drinking too much.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So we're going to drink more than we eat this time of year, just like I do every other season.
Yeah, that's really different than the winter.
I don't even know why I bother saying that, but we do have a tendency, I would say, to eat a little bit lighter.
We lean towards that.
Yeah, and this is all those refreshing brightness that you get that would go so well with just about any kind of cheese and charcuterie. I've had this with prosciutto. It really popped. I had it with salumi. It really popped, and a great palate cleanser too.
Absolutely.
Because of that little I don't know. It almost reminds me of. It has like a hint of like maybe a Goza beer. Just a little bit of that that tartness.
That green fruit tartness with the strawberry and almost like a honeydew, but without the juiciness of the honeydew.
Right.
Just like the bite of it, not the honeydew can be overly watery.
Yeah.
But that first little or maybe green papaya maybe.
Sure. Just there's a lot of stuff going on here. You could certainly show this to friends that aren't wine geeks like us that overanalyze every freaking thing in the bottle. But I think that the people that are just looking for something that's easy to drink and simple to understand, they can do that. But if you want to get cerebral, it is a wine that you can really dive into. And I think that that's important, to check a lot of boxes, depending on, who's with you or what kind of mood you're in that
Right,
day.
you don't want to serve over or under your guests.
Yeah.
You want it to be something that, that can be moldable to any level of drinking you want to partake in.
Man, that strawberry is kicking.
I mean, this is so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what a great, despite its effervescence, this is still a great nighttime wine.
Sure.
I know with the tart, the fruit, the bubbles, you're thinking porridge, you're thinking daytime, which is true.
Mm-hmm.
With the easy access, drink it down the river. But I mean, this is a great nighttime wine. This would be very elegant for dinner service.
Yeah, and this is also singing to me, so I must say it. I think this would go great with barbecue.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Amen. Caramelized onions, pork, tomato, vinegar, tartness.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
James, we said that at the same time.
Wow. I do enjoy a good bubbles. It makes me happy.
You deserve to be happy.
So, Chef, we've talked about some things. What are you thinking about?
Well, we're going to do a trio of things here. So, the brain's working. Going to do grilled shiitakes because the yeast and the mushroom feel like they just belong together. Got a beautiful Alpine style cheese in today from Looking Glass called Bear Wallow. So this is a raw 100% cow's milk, again Alpine style, so it's going to have a lot of great mushroom notes. It's going to have a great butter to it, which is going to love the mushroom. It's going to love this wine. And we're going to throw some of that spotted trotter salumi in with this.
Oh,
the sorghum black pepper.
Yeah.
And then just to introduce, and the cheese obviously is fatty, but that Alpine style is a more nutty and clean, not like a fresh, buttery cheese. It's not a bloomy cheese. So I think that little extra fat's going to serve this well.
Oh,
it'll be delicious.
Yeah, and there's that sorghum. There's a sweetness.
There's a sweetness
to it. I
to
think it'll play off this as well.
And you'll even be able to kind of do it like a crostini. So I'm going to grill the mushroom so it's kind of like the platform. And then have the cheese and the salumi on top. You can literally just pick it up and eat it like that. So
beautiful.
The lack of gluten is going to keep you in the game. Not gonna slow you down. This would be fun. I want to do that right now. Love grilled mushrooms this time of year.
Wow. So that is a delicious beverage. Really cool label. And
you better keep that away from Becca.
Yeah, it's gonna be gone quick. That is really, really fun. Also, it is a vintage 2020, so a lot of times we don't see that in our bubbles.
Finish it with a little candy. Now that it's warmed up a little bit.
Yeah,
it's a little red candy on the end.
It reminds me of those old-timey strawberry. They came in a strawberry wrapper. They were twisted.
Oh
like
yeah, and it had the little green
candy.
And white. Yeah, absolutely.
And then I think it had like a gooey center. Or something.
It did. Once you did a little work on the outside, it got a little ooze. Yep.
Yeah, old school stuff. There's a lot.
I love that at Cana Mount Airy where they have that whole section of like old school candy, the horehound and the strawberry, and like even the boxes are like 1920 vintage boxes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like somebody cares about their candy up there.
There's a lot of old candy flavors in wines. They very much go hand in hand, I think. Yeah, every year someone does around Halloween. They're like, "What wines do you pair with candy?" And the modern candies are, they don't have as much spice to them.
No, because they're more synthetic.
Yeah,
and
but these old school ones have spice to them, which really pairs well with wine.
They have a ton of spice. That's a great observation. Even like the high end gummies that are sour and that kind of thing. They have a little more complexity, but still, I mean, it really is synthetic. But I mean, like the old school candies or the modern candies made in the old school style. I mean, that's mixology there. They're using great ingredients. You're getting a lot of different. Your palate's better. Sorry, I meant to hold it, not kick it. Thank you.
Oftentimes you'll hear us use old school candies as descriptors. I think a couple weeks ago we were talking about. It might have been last week. We did the Gewürztraminer last week. We were talking about. I don't know if we did a video on that.
The Gewürz was last week, but
we were talking about that orange candy. Like it was like a gummy.
It's a gummy candy.
And we were getting it out of a wine. Of course, we've used Horehound many times. Licorice always
comes up. Absolutely. And you know what? Cough syrup has ruined candy. Because good candy, what they season cough syrup with now, it's like good candy flavor. Yeah. Instead of sweetness. It's like that's the complexity without the memorization of being sick. And now it's like ruined that flavor profile for candy. Like nobody wants it because it reminds them of Robitussin.
That is awesome. I never even considered the psychology.
The psychology of it.
That gets involved here. So we are going to get into France now.
Yay.
And this is a 2021, which was yet another amazing year.
Well, they have 8 out of 9 stellar years.
It's just incredible what's going on down there. I know, there's certainly concern over the heat and dryness, but the wine sure is good. I think the issues that we have, of course, are those late frosts. But if there's some way you can get just enough irrigation of these vines and these droughts, stellar year after stellar year. And we saw it out in California, 13, 14, 15. Those 3 years were just unbelievable. Now we're seeing in the Southern Rhone, 15 through 21, maybe through 22, all exceptional.
All exceptional.
But it used to be like it would be awesome if you had like every other year would be like, oh my gosh, we've made it.
What's going on?
Every other year it's been great. It's unbelievable. But to have a streak of just unimaginable. I mean, look at the color in this rascal here. And that is a beautiful thing. I drink with my people say they eat with their eyes. I drink with my eyes.
Oh, absolutely.
I love. When we were doing the chef's table, I was talking about
a lot of color influence wine, especially the Portuguese and the Washington State. I mean, those are such that big extraction of color.
We are going to, like I said, we're going to be at Côtes du Rhône, which is the GSM blend, La Renjardiere. This is a classic producer, Grenache, Syrah, Mourvèdre, consistent, I would say, with year to year. But like I said, it really helps when you have these amazing vintage after vintage. We also have some carry on in theirs, which we were having that conversation at the chef's table because we had a carry on at the table that particular night.
That standalone varietal, very unusual.
Right. Yeah, and so these are grapes that are important standalone if you can find them, but they're far more important in the blend, because this is really where they really make things special. So
well, their influence is so important in a blend, to where, you know, really what their job is kind of like in painting, where one color is made to highlight the brilliance of another, not to shine. And so really what the Carignan doing is making the Syrah and the Mourvedre more pronounced.
Right.
You know, it's just, so I mean, the blending is such a fascinating and complex art, how not everything is meant to be for itself, it's for another.
Sure, yeah, you're framing it, setting it up, contrast, all that good stuff. So, and I think that's certainly the case for ingredients in your food.
Oh, absolutely. They're building blocks, yeah.
So, with that being said, it tastes just the way it looks. It's big, it's bold, but it's almost sticky. It's you know, but I'm not saying it's sweet.
No,
but
it's not. But it has a full extraction.
Yes.
I mean, it is a big extraction, expression of fruit. It's it's black and it's red. I mean, it's going back and forth, and the tannins are underneath the fruit, so you're getting this bright. It's very almost like peppery, but it's like there's something there that's giving a stabilization that's not tannin.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, a lot of times a bright fruit will dissipate so quickly. This is hanging on, but it's not tannins that's making it hanging on. My brain is not connecting the dots. But
I get it. There are tannins here, but they are not really prevalent. This wine is dry. Just want to be very, very clear. But like Chef said, there's such a great extraction here. You can really taste the heat of the season that they had. The fruit is roasted. You can tell that these grapes were punished by the sun.
They were punished, and they were rewarded.
So there's certainly dark plum, dark cherry, dark licorice. You know, there is some capsicum of some sort. To me, I'm having a hard time describing the pepper, but there is pepper in there.
There's pepper, but it's not ground black or white pepper. It's almost like, to me, I'm getting the berry seed. Like when you bite into a blackberry, that seed gives it a bitterness that complements the sweet.
Sure.
You know, when you get a very seedy berry.
We were picking blueberries and blackberries at Dad's house. We went down for Father's Day, and my brother and sister-in-law were there, and we all went out and got eaten up by mosquitoes. Even after spring, still got eaten up by mosquitoes. And you know the mosquitoes in Fayetteville are like
pterodactyls. Yeah, they're pterodactyls.
They bit me through my shirt.
They don't have a natural enemy.
No, they're bigger than the dragonflies, so the dragonflies can't even take them.
You'll see a dragonfly riding a mosquito, you know. Like, give me the river.
So we were out there picking, and we were talking about that. Elizabeth, my stepmom, we were talking about how the seed, how it I don't know if conflicts, but it counterbalances the sweetness, I would say. But we were looking at it as a negative because we were making margaritas.
Yeah, well, right, yeah.
And we didn't want it too seedy. But in terms of, in what you're saying, Chef, is there is balance when you think of it in terms of wine.
It's a good balance, the bitter seed.
Yeah. And this is not a bitter wine, just to be clear.
No.
There is a balance that comes from
without it, the wine will run away from you.
Yeah.
And it would
be like Welch's grape juice.
It would be too much of a good thing, and it would be on the wrong spectrum. And you know, you hear a lot of descriptions in the colder, the fall and the winter of forest floor.
Yeah.
But there's not really one for this time of year. But to me, I'm getting something like summer moss.
Sure.
You know, it's not really a musty like forest floor.
Moss is like fresher.
It's fresher, and the humidity and the thing, the mossinol is kind of like what I would say.
I totally agree. As a matter of fact, as soon as you said that, it popped in my head. Carol and I were looking down on our way through out into the woods. They have a blueberry patch out in the open. They have a blueberry patch back in the woods, and you go through the woods to get to that one in the back. And there was a moss, and we were commenting on the moss. Which was but there was a freshness
to it, and it almost perfumes the air. Like when you walk through, especially when you have some shade and humidity. Yeah. Like when you get out of the field where it's really beating down on you, but when you get into the forest where you're getting breaks of sunshine and shade, that moss becomes more pronounced because it's almost steamed this time of year, and it really lifts up, and that's it's. And a lot of the vegetation, like when you're, especially now when the plants you're harvesting and they're kind of dying back on each other,
right?
While they're producing, it's kind of the producing of the vegetable or the fruit kind of kills them a little bit, and it's so that's in the air.
I want to mention though, it was like somewhere between 93 and 95 degrees, and
and it's not summer yet.
It's not summer yet, and it was. Like you said, that
wet
steam coming
out. And the river right there on this property, feeding.
Right there on the Cape Fear River.
Yeah, just feeding it all.
Unbelievable. I'm so amazed that people can live in that. And I can barely handle 2 days.
And the forest wilts. I mean, that heat and that humidity. I mean, things wilt.
Yeah.
I mean, not just the humans.
I wish the mosquitoes would wilt.
No, it strengthens them. It makes them impervious.
I swear, it's crazy. So, Chef, we got this. I mean, by the way, this thing's under $20, which I can't even. I know.
What are you serving tomorrow?
When I tasted this a couple weeks back, and then I got it in, and I was telling Chris like, "Oh, you're probably gonna buy a bunch of this." This was that one I was talking about. I said I got a Côtes du Rhône in.
All I do is
I
work for wine, basically.
I was thinking about putting it on the list, but it's like, just people just don't buy French blends by the glass around here, unfortunately. But that would be a great by the glass.
What we need to do, and you Frenchies, feel free to listen up. When you export a wine to the United States, would you please give it a name? If you want to sell it, I think it's funny to them. It's like they don't care if it sells or not. But like if you called this,
the prisoner
Hemingway, or I mean, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't have to be creative. Red leaf wine.
Yeah.
People will order a glass of the red leaf.
That's a fact.
They're not going to order the La Radongère when somebody at the server is like, "Oh, the R is silent."
Right. Yeah.
You moron. Mm-hmm. Like no one's going to order that.
Yeah.
Call it red leaf blend, and watch it fly off the shelves. You're denying half your population the opportunity to enjoy it for your idiots.
Yeah, well, we got to make it simple.
Well, of course, then we don't need Psalms to come in and sell it.
Hey, that's a good
talk you through it. So it's job security.
Also, it keeps the price down for you and me.
So those imbeciles are giving you job security. Mm-hmm. But I mean, that's just. I guess they're just waiting for us to smarten up.
They've been waiting a long time.
Don't hold your breath.
Let's keep getting better.
Sure,
let's keep getting better.
Okay.
You're
not going to want me to have you cite examples.
No. I'm just going from. I'm in Disneyland.
It's in general.
I'm in fantasy land.
Surely it's getting better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We can't even use our turn signals.
That's a fact. Well,
a society that doesn't use turn signals is never going to be able to pronounce a French wine. Or understand it, for that matter.
You're probably right.
I mean, you can't do the most basic function of civil responsibility. Y'all see?
Yeah. Chef,
I can pronounce it. I don't know.
What kind of food are we going to do with this brass?
I don't know. I'm going to do a braised pork with gnocchi.
With gnocchi?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Very French. The fatty pork, is going to help this fruit right along. Obviously, we're going to shave some really nice cheese on this. I think it's going to be delicious. It's going to be a very French bistro kind of thing you would have with a table wine like this.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, when these type of wines can make it over here, And God knows how many people made money along the way.
Oh,
for
there's
it to
so
get
many
here.
hands in between there and here,
And-
and it's still $20.
And I mean, you know, I'm okay with this climate change stuff.
I love it. I mean, like I said,
And we were talking about how great the wines are from Wales. Yeah, they've been waiting 1,000 years to be able to make wine.
There's a guy, there's a British chef who I really love, Adam Handling, and I know I send you stuff from him. Like he's very famous for his cocktails. Like he makes all his cocktails. He won't make a cocktail with anything that's not from the kitchen. Like he won't do a soda or any, like even if you made your own carbonated thing, he won't do it. Yeah. Everything is like done out of the kitchen, and so all of his cocktails have like beets and oranges and rutabaga and whatever.
I love beets in a cocktail.
And he does some stunning ones. But he's got this one restaurant on the coast. He's from Scotland, but he's in England. His restaurant's one called Ugly Butterfly. But like half his wine lists are English ones.
Yeah.
And he's always promoting. He's like, listen, and he's got Michelin stars, and he's in rated top restaurants, all this stuff. But you know, all of his bubbles are English. He's got all these still wines from England. Mm-hmm. He's got a very accomplished wine list, and half of it's from England.
That's fantastic.
And he's a big homer like that. I just love it. I mean, obviously
they've been waiting a long time.
They have. I mean, obviously he's got all the big boys. The French and the Italians and all that stuff.
He's not like
exclusive.
Homer.
No, but I mean, I just love that. And he's a big bubble guy. I mean, he's got. I mean, everywhere, all of his 3 restaurants, he's all about bubbles. So I mean,
well, I told you about when I went up to Columbus, Ohio for that.
Yeah, song.
It's like you can have champagne. Because he was a champagne guy, but bubbles are what we're talking about. He said you could have champagne every course of a meal,
no matter
how many courses it was.
And Winston Churchill would agree.
Yes.
You talk about a champagne guy.
Yeah.
Morning, noon, and night.
Yeah. Yeah. That Roger.
That Paul Roger.
Boy, that's a tasty one if you get your hands on that.
That was the one you sold me for our anniversary trip last year. It used to be the F-bomb. It was the Paul Roger story. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Luckily,
you were actually talking about the Paul Roger. I was thanking you for it because it was so great that we loved it, and that was where.
That's where the F-bomb came. Wine elicits emotion you can't control.
You can't control it. All you can do is enjoy it.
I did say freaking this episode, so I'm really getting control of it.
Nobody knew what you meant. I mean, don't say it. No one knew what you were hinting at.
Freaking out,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well,
yeah.
So, Chef, what we got coming up? Got anything coming up? We got chef's tables.
We got some big stuff going on.
Wait. Can we talk about that beautiful market you're putting together?
We've got and we need to talk. We're going to talk about pizzas and full service across the board, and markets and seafood. Man, we got a lot of stuff coming up.
Well, as many of you know that we've provided fresh seafood for people. I'm talking about raw, so that you can take home and cook yourself. And we've been doing that. We've been providing cheeses and meats and seafood. That's always been a thing. Of course, all those wines that you're looking for, you say, hey, Ed, I can't find this. Will you find it for me? And I'll go out and try to find it. We've always done all that stuff behind the scenes.
Always.
But I think we're bringing it more to the forefront.
We're going to make it part of who we are.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have a market available for getting fresh seafood, all kinds of local cheeses and meats, cured or non-cured.
Cured and non-cured, and you're talking about also a lot of dry pantry items that are beautiful and wonderful. Spices from Asheville, rice from the coast of North Carolina,
different types of crackers and things.
We're talking about beautiful wine vinegars that are so beautiful that you don't even use them for. I mean, you just douse things with it. We're talking about aged in French oak for 12 months, where the acid is super low, so the wine flavors are prevalent. You can pickle, you can marinate, but really you can just pour over, and it's just going to expand every week. We're going to continue to grow this and just have just such a wonderful variety of things where you're able to support not only the winery, but all these beautiful artisans and craftsmen and fishermen and creameries from all across our local area and region, and that's something we've always been proud of.
Well,
and whether you're eating here or not, we want you to come here and get beautiful, and we love showing off what we serve. We serve the freshest, best of everything. It's fresh fish, it's aged, local meat, it's fresh vegetables. You know, we're stewing fresh blackberries and basil right now from 2 farms to make a cocktail. I mean, from top to bottom. And so we want to show more of that off, and we want to pair wine with it so you can go home and show off to your friends.
That's right. And that's something, ingredients have always been important to us because we're chefs. And as you continue to dine out, you will see continually that people aren't using ingredients anymore. They're using processed, pre-made, warm and serve items, and we are making things from scratch here, and it's becoming harder and harder to do that, but that's something that we will not ever cave to.
Not while we're here.
That's right. And
if
so,
you see us here, you're getting some quality.
That's right, and we'll continue to do that. So with our market in its infancy, it's kind of going to be more pronounced, I would say. It's always been there, but it's more pronounced.
Absolutely. It's taking up a bigger part of our footprint here, and we hope it's a success so it can continue to grow. Mm-hmm. And you know, we're going to be offering some newer things and some seats that'll be available more often. I think people are going to like the things we have on the back burner here.
Definitely. So keep us in mind for any of your shopping or any of your party favors, I guess.
Go to a friend's house, swing by here, get some meat, cheese, crackers, and wine. If you're going to be entertaining, you can always stop by and ask us for advice too. You don't just have to like grab fish and then wonder how to do it.
That's right.
You can talk to Ed and I, and we'll give you lots of great tips on how to serve our beautiful North Carolina oysters, how to sear our gorgeous scallops, how to marinate or season your fish so it's not too much or too little. So it's not just the products themselves, but the resources you have here. We love to talk. We'll talk to you till you leave screaming, but you'll be informed.
That's right. So take advantage of your resources. We're here for you whenever you need us. And until next time, cheers to everyone. We will catch you on the flip side next week.
Thank you, everyone.
Remember, 6 o'clock Thursday nights, we're here live. See ya.